So, Kevin, the optimal situation for mission trips is to have them be an experience of mutuality and partnership, right? Where, a group is visiting another group and there's a sense of meeting each other, as opposed to the more, hopefully, although sometimes not, archaic model of top down, as in we have something to bring to these people that isn't there already. What can a leader do to before the trip with their group to infuse this understanding of mutuality?
Yeah, boy, that's just huge. So we spend a lot. We spend time. We have just a regular information meeting, with students and parents. Look, these are the logistics and all, but we have meetings after that with just the students, talking about what their expectations are, what they're anxious about, what they're excited about, and really talking about why we're going. And so that gets back into, look, let's be honest, let's be straightforward. We are not going just to help people, say, well, this summer I went to help people. Okay, yeah, we went and we gave some assistance, but we also really helped ourselves to have a better understanding of what we're called to be in the world. And also, I'll be honest with you, part of our going on these trips is also, for some reason, these trips have been a draw for us, and they bring our group together. And if you think about the hours during a mission trip week, it's just a little bit less than a whole year of youth group meetings, right? So it's really important for bringing the group together. So I think you have to be honest about that, and also say, look, this is the community we're going into. So let's gather some data. Let's gather some facts. So I'm on citydata.com, and I'm comparing zip codes between our town and that town, right? And what's the median income? All the data. Bring all the data and talk about it. I also bring to them spiritual attributes. So like of course we have rules and we have guidelines, right? You got to have those, but we also have spiritual attributes. So our spiritual attributes are things, such as the person is more important than the task at hand. So, if we're working on Betty's house and Betty comes out and she starts telling us her story, well, we're going to sit down with Betty and we're going to listen to Betty, because we will work an extra hour at the end of the week, or we'll hand this project over to the group that's coming after us. But listening to Betty for Betty's sake, but also for our sake, is really, really important, and a big part of why we're there. And to kind of relate to that, something that I like to talk about, maybe this could be said a little bit better, but I think you get the point, is kind of like everyone is rich and everyone is poor. And I'm not always talking about money. Where in somebody else's life are they rich where you might be poor? And let's not always look at that as a financial thing. There could be somebody that we meet whose spirit is so rich and rubs off on our group. And of course, that happens all the time. Some of they remember people's names of the people's homes that they've helped out, or people they met at a soup kitchen. And so in what way was that person rich? That you're poor, and can they kind of benefit your life? Hearing stories and situations about how people got to where they are, hearing about somebody's job, or somebody that doesn't have a job anymore, or somebody had family that worked in a coal mine, right? Or hearing stories about somebody's experience of racism in a city. Listening is really what it's about for us. When we come back from our trips, we do a sharing service with the congregation. We used to do it right after we got back, but we wait until September, because in the summertime, at least at our church, it's not nearly as full. So we wait till it's prime time, right? We wait until the third week of September, and the whole congregation is there, and we share about our trip. and we do it in the context of worship, and talk about how the Spirit of God spoke to us through our time. And what I find is that having been away from the trip for a month or two between there and the sharing service, it's really great having those meetings, coming up with the content for that service, because it also serves as a way to help the trip live on within the students. So,
Yeah. Thank you.
mm-hmm.